Hello, students. Your topic for today is malicious prosecution. So, what is a malicious prosecution? Proceeding that is instituted maliciously may include not only malicious prosecution and malicious arrest but also malicious bankruptcy and liquidation proceeding, malicious execution of process against property, and malicious search. So, malicious prosecution is the malicious intention of unsuccessful criminal or bankruptcy or liquidation proceedings against another without reasonable or probable cause. Generally, it can be said that the malicious prosecution is defined as a judicial proceeding that is instituted by one person against another from wrongful or improper motive without any reasonable and probable cause to justify it. In case of West Bengal State Electricity Board versus Dilip Kumar Rai, the court defined the term malicious prosecution. So it said, a judicial proceeding that is instituted by one person against another from wrongful or improper motive and without probable cause to sustain it is a malicious prosecution. The court in the same case laid down the distinction between an action for malicious prosecution and action for abuse of process in the following words. So, a malicious prosecution consists in maliciously causing process to be issued, whereas an abuse of process is the employment of legal process for some purpose other than that which it was intended by the law to effect the improper use of a regularly issued process. So, the essential elements of malicious prosecution are: first, prosecution by the defendant; second, the absence of reasonable and probable cause; third, defendant acted maliciously; fourth, termination of proceeding in favor of the plaintiff; and last, plaintiff suffered damage as a result of prosecution. So, the first element, that is prosecution by the defendant. In this, the plaintiff is required to prove in a suit for damages for malicious prosecution is this, that he, plaintiff, was prosecuted by the defendant. And the word prosecution carries a wider sense than just a trial, and it includes criminal proceedings by way of appeal or revision. So, in the case of Musa Yakum versus Manilal, it was held that it is no excuse for the defendant that he instituted the prosecution under the order of a court if the court was moved by the defendant false evidence to give the order. Now, there is another element, that is absence of reasonable and probable cause. So, in a suit for damages for malicious prosecution, the plaintiff has also required to prove this, that the defendant prosecuted him without any reasonable and probable cause. The question relating to want of reasonable and probable cause in a suit for malicious prosecution should be decided on all facts before the court. In the case of Antarajami Sharma versus Padma Beva, it has been said that the law is settled that in case of damages for malicious prosecution, owners of proof of absence of reasonable and probable cause rest on the plaintiff. So the existence of reasonable and probable cause is of no avail if the prosecutor prosecuted in ignorance of it. The dismissal of a prosecution or acquittal of the accused does not create any presumption of the absence of reasonable and probable cause. If a man prefers an indictment containing several charges, whereof for some there is, for others there is not probable cause, his liability for malicious prosecution is complete. The next element is that the defendant acted maliciously. So, in a suit for damages for malicious prosecution, it is another esse- essential element which the plaintiff is required to prove that the defendant acted maliciously in prosecuting him and not with a mere intention of carrying the law into effect. Malice needs not be a feeling of enmity, spite, or ill will or spirit of vengeance, but it can be an improper purpose which motives the prosecutor, such as to gain a private collateral advantage. Then it is not necessary that the defendant should be acting maliciously right from the moment the prosecution was launched. If the prosecutor is innocent in the beginning but becomes maliciously subsequently, an action for malicious prosecution can lie. If during the pendency of criminal prosecution the defendant gets positive knowledge of the innocence of the accused, from the moment onwards the continuance of the prosecution is maliciously. Then there is termination of proceeding in favor of the plaintiff. In a suit for damages for malicious prosecution, it is essential to show that the proceedings complained of terminated in favor of the plaintiff. So, the termination in favor of the plaintiff does not mean judicial determination of his innocence, it means absence of judicial determination of his guilt. Malice need not be a feeling of enmity, spite, or ill will or spirit of vengeance, but it can be any improper purpose which motivates the prosecutor, such as to gain a private collateral advantage. So, no action can be brought when the prosecution or the proceedings are still pending. It is rule of law that no one shall be allowed to allege of a still pending suit that it is unjust. Now, the last is that the plaintiff suffers damage as a result of prosecution. So, in a suit for damages for malicious prosecution, it is another essential element which the plaintiff is required to prove that the plaintiff suffered damage as a result of prosecution. In a claim for prosecution, the plaintiff can thus claim damages on the following three counts. First, damage to the plaintiff's reputation. Second, damage to the plaintiff's person. Third, damage to the plaintiff's property. That's all. Thank you.